Are there some careers women should stay away from to maintain their femininity?
That's a good question.
Mm.
Hey, ladies, I
Are
know
there
y'all.
Well, before they answer that question, I'm going to answer it. And I think that I don't think it matters on what career a woman has, but let's see what they have to say.
some
Listen,
careers women should stay away from to maintain their femininity? I'm gonna go with the people that hasn't had a chance to really
yeah,
speak too
yeah,
much. King Rio, Lauren, Jay. Start with you guys first.
I'd say garbage truck, heavy lifting, things that smell. Don't nobody really want a woman that's coming home stinking. You know
Like she can't take a shower. Like, come on, be for real.
what I mean? And cruddy, right? Too, and too wide across the back. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh my.
we gotta make sure that we're keeping those things in mind because ultimately we have to be attracted to you. You know what I mean? You gotta come on. So
So after you take that shower smelling like flowers, you're not gonna be attracted. Like it's not even that deep.
yeah, I think that's a very important thing to consider.
Too wide across
Attracted to the
the
stinker
back.
hoes, man. The
Okay.
stinker hoes got to need love too, don't they?
Yeah, I agree with
Uh,
Rio.
you too. Like, come on now.
Know, any job that is like menial or it's just hard labor, stay away from it. If a woman can, if the option is there for her to work or not to work, I think she would take the option not to, but she has to have the option.
That is so true. If you have the option not to work, just don't work at all. Like this for what? Let the man do that.
I would say, yeah, I think women would be more successful if they're able to do things that allow them to be more creative, and that
Mhm.
helps maintain that femininity. So anything outside of that would probably be, something they should steer clear of.
Okay.
Someone said the military. I know we do have some military again. Thank you guys for your service. You guys keep listening.
Listen, military is a certain beast. I haven't been in the military, but I am a military brat. If you don't know what that is, that means that my parents were in the military and I was the child traveling with them. And I've seen a whole lot of things. Um, I don't know. I think being in the military is hard on anybody's body, but especially a woman. So I don't know.
A field that women should stay away from.
I mean, I would suggest, ladies. Hey, somebody need to mute up. Hey, Sarah, Asida, I think that's you. You mute up. Yeah, yeah. So so here's what I'll say. Clearly, I'm married to a military woman. I would suggest that my wife is
See, you normally don't see that. It's normally the man is in the military and the woman isn't, but that's interesting.
different. She's different from what I've seen in the military. Now, I spent 20 years in, so I had my fair share of being around military women. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I know it's y'all gonna be ruffled. The military reinforces masculine behavior, masculine qualities, and in order to progress in your career path, right, you have to really grab hold of those masculine qualities and like take them on as your own. So, and I won't even suggest just military.
I guess if you want to look at it like what acting, I mean, you can be able to turn it on and off. So let's see where he's going with this.
I'm just preaching because that's what somebody asked, right? But I would suggest any type of job that's going to reinforce qualities that men hate. Lawyers, you guys are argumentative, right? Like all that's doing is reinforcing you wanting to over the top debate and why I got to do this. Well, why I need the definition of this.
Come on, yo. Like, so a woman can't be a lawyer and be married because she's going to come home arguing, like, for real.
Why I need to get some understanding here. Da, 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 da. I'm telling you, those are jobs: military, lawyers, cops, police. Why?
Okay. I agree with the cops. That should not be a woman's job, protecting nothing, because men are supposed to protect us. So I'm trying to see how that works out.
Back construction workers, y'all here re-roofing. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you around men all day, you gonna turn into a doggone man.
I'm around guys all day. Do I look like I have a whole lot of guys around me? Like, come on now.
These are the facts. So yes, like I said, I think my wife is extraordinary because she was so grounded in what she was raised to be by her mother and father in her household. That
Okay, raised by her mother and father. A lot of us haven't had the luxury of having that, but that might be something there.
she ain't even phased by this military stuff. It's not moving her like how that is. And additionally, well, let me not say that. Right? She still got a job, right? But yeah, so that's what I say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there are some professions, definitely, but I do really feel like it's the individual. I feel like the
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking. Go ahead.
individual, if they're a feminine individual, in terms of their craft, yeah, they may carry a certain thing, but if they're generally a feminine, the way that they carry themselves, I don't feel that that'll interfere. I feel that they'll always be that at their core.
Thank you. Like, if you are, to me, the answer to that question to me is it depends on the individual, like what this guy said, because if you carry yourself a certain way, no matter what job you have, you should be able to turn it on and off. You should be able to do your job. And then when you come home, you should be able to do that job. They're two separate things. I don't see how the job that you have should change you as a person. No, that's just a job that you choose to do. So I agree to that.
The job, it may harden their damn hands. You don't want to feel no hard ass hands rubbing your back and your thighs. You know what I mean? I can understand that portion of it. But
Nope.
I do agree with y'all in terms of military, and I think that's a real crazy balance because I've dated a woman that was a high rank in the military. And, I'm kind of like unfiltered. Once I'm comfortable, I'll say what's on my mind. And, she was real, like, she was a captain. And I'm like, you're not my motherfucking captain,
Stop playing. Like, okay, I get what he's saying. I was kind of like with the military, I'm not really sure if being a woman in the military, I don't know. I mean, you can turn it on and off, but that type of job is very different from all the other ones that they mentioned. So I kind of agree with that. But let's see what he says about this captain.
I'm saying, like, I know that you go to work and you speak to these people who look like me and you have a rank, but you come to me, I'm telling jokes and you flipping out over some joke. You're not my fucking captain now. I'm a civilian, but you're not my
Right.
fucking captain. You their captain. So to balance that, I think a man in the military would need to date a woman in the military to balance that in most capacity. I haven't had any success dating a woman in the military because of that, especially if they were high ranking, what I mean? Because where I'm at, there's a base, like the base that everybody comes through. So
I'm gonna agree with that. Fellas, do not, if you in the military, don't go out here trying to date somebody that's outranking you. The trump card gonna get pulled. It's gonna get pulled, bro. My wife has never outranked me by any means, right? Any way of the word, you know what I mean? Lauren, I'm kind of curious.
Why does that matter?
Yeah, why does that matter that a woman is outranking you? Like I said, women, you guys should be able to turn it on and off.
Why does somebody outrank you? See, that's some of y'all men problem is that y'all be so mad.
I don't think he was saying it was the man's problem. I think it's the woman. So if the woman outranked you and she's been around all these men, it's a different type of mindset. I don't think you can really gauge that unless you're in there. But I do have an understanding of what Quest and what Jay is saying.
I have a quick question though, that just came to my mind for some reason. Men that have been in the military they also behave in a certain way. That why would you talk to your woman like if you're their captain or like you should be her husband? So should that also be balanced then?
But being a captain means that you're kind of like at the top of your game, right? Which is the head. So if you living that traditional lifestyle with your spouse, the man is the head, quote unquote, AKA captain, right? So, okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that there are plenty of men I've come. So okay, so let me give you a little bit of context here. Before I became a special forces operator, right? Before I did that, I was a military police officer. So like, especially on a base like Fort Bragg, that has a huge cantonment area, which means like a lot of like on base housing. Like I come across all kinds of domestic disputes, like an absorbent amount of domestics on base having to pull dudes out of their home because they done beat the crap out of somebody.
He ain't lying about that. Like, it's so much going on in the military world that a lot of people don't talk about because it's not really like a popular thing. But when those soldiers, troops, whatever, they go on deployment, okay, for 7 months, year, 2 years, I mean, imagine.
Or the arguments, or the neighbors done call because of this. And I mean, on base housing is a nightmare. Okay. Yeah. And a lot of times, I'm not gonna say a lot of times, because I'll say I've gone across situations and incidents at people's homes where it was kind of split down the middle, where it's like the dude who was doing the most and the woman was doing the most. Sometimes these women be beating the crap out of some of these little military men in their households.
They do, and it's not even military; it's anywhere. A lot of women be beating that, like I'd be like, "Whoa, okay, like calm down."
Some of these things, I'm telling you.
What?
And now it may be because they're trying to restrain themselves because they know what's going to happen with them at work and so on and so forth, and how they're going to lose rank, position, money, all these different things.
That's one thing the military do. They do not play about that domestic violence. If you have a case pending or going on, they would take a whole rank from somebody. So meaning, if you guys don't understand, rank is top tier. So you're at top tier 10. Okay, they would drop you to a whole 5, which means that your pay raise will go down.
Things, but then there's a lot of times where you have men, and there's YouTube videos, you can find them, that are over the top aggressive with their wives and things of that nature, and beating the crap out of them, cussing them all out, handling them all kinds of ways in the grocery stores that's on base and all kinds. You see this stuff, right? So no, I do think that, but that there's no.
He being dramatic. Ain't nobody doing that in that no grocery store in public. Come on now.
Difference there than anywhere else in the world, right? Pick correctly. Pick correctly, right? If I was that person with, at the time, girlfriend, now wife, do you think we would be together right now? No, because she knew how to pick, right? She wasn't gonna pick some dude who was like overly aggressive and beating the crap out of her and da 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 da. Nah, that just ain't gonna work. So pick better, and it don't matter what field you in, ladies and men, which is kind of why the conversation is here now. But go ahead.
All right. So are there any other careers that women should stay away from in order to maintain their femininity?
Yeah, HR managers.
Why HR manager? So he's saying a woman in that industry of HR, or just a woman being a manager? Explain that.
I don't know.
My ex-wife was an HR manager, man, and she always try to bring that bullshit in. I said, look, I'm not talking to HR. I think I'm talking to my wife. I'm not talking to HR with it. I'm gonna file a goddamn grievance.
But I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry.
He keeps saying HR. HR is HR. Management is management. You could be a manager in any field. So I'm trying to get what he's trying to say.
Hold on. It's all right. I think it'll be. But I had to constantly remind her that this is not what we're doing here. I'm not your employee. You know, and so when they're in that position, it seems like they can't turn shit off. I think any management position, truth be told.
Okay, he's talking about a woman in the management industry. So my thoughts on that is, okay, I feel that any woman should be able to be a manager, a boss, whatever, and be able to come home and not be able to manage what the man is. What is that what he's saying? He's saying that his woman kept managing him and he don't like that. So let me see what he's exactly saying.
Because they have authority over not only women but men too. So
I can see both parts. I can honestly see probably maybe any woman in management would it's for some women it might be hard for them to be able to, turn that masculinity off at work with having to be the boss. I'm in project management, so I think we have to be mindful of being able to remember don't bring work home. So don't bring that face that you have to put on for the people in the office. Don't bring that home. Your husband, boyfriend, fiance, significant other, your partner, or whatever it is you're choosing to call them, shouldn't have to battle you on the home front because you're still stuck in work mode. We have to, when you pull into that driveway and you get out that car, you have to be able to take that management hat off and leave it in the car and come into the house into peace.
Big facts. Big facts.
Completely agree. And that's where I was going from before. No matter what position you're in, you should be able to cut it off. If you're not able to cut it off, then that means that you became your job. And that's not that's not how that works. You need to know how to go home and just be the person that you are there, which is, so if you're a wife, be a wife. Do wifely things. Don't do, oh, I'm an HR manager and I'm going to be doing all that stuff when I get to my house. Like, no, you don't do that. You just be a wife. And if you're a mother, be a mother. And then if you're a wife and mother, be a wife and mother. Like, it's not that hard.
Yes, I'll say my wife does that excellently because it's a lot of madness that be going on at her job on base where she at right now. And she knows I can't bring that into my household with my husband and our son. So,
and for me, for my experience, I, was in a position where I was doing a lot of managing, and I knew how to, take that part out of me when I'm speaking to my husband, because obviously I'm speaking to another person, which I deal with people where I was at before. But when I look at him like he's my husband, not he's another employee. No, he is my husband, so I'm going to treat him as such. So that's just maybe a key if anyone is dealing with, okay, dang, I don't know how to leave work at work. Just look at the person and be like, okay, oh yeah, you're my husband. Not, oh, that's Jim from HR. And like, no, don't do it like that.
Yeah, you big facts, Tam.
I just wanted to add that if the man's job is to bring the resources and the woman's job is to manage the resources in the house, because she's the one staying in the house, that's what actual human resources does, manage the resources. So like, let's look at it as if it is a company. And I'm saying because I've been into human resources, and sometimes, yes, you have to really know how to talk to people. And I agree the fact that you have to separate that from work, but you have to know how to manage the resources well as, hey, we are bringing these resources, and I'm going to say, okay, this goes this way and that way. I'm not saying you have to do it this way. That's the problem, where you trying to demand certain things from the man, or you're trying to tell him what to do. No, that's not what it's managing the resources means. So I think we have to learn as women, and I'm saying very generally, including myself, we have to learn how to separate that from, at the end of the day, you're home, you're managing the resources, because the men cannot do both jobs, bringing the resources and managing the resources. It's like, come on, you need help, right? So you have to allow the help too.
I think we're getting a little too literal on the title of that job. Human resources, right? You saying just resources. No, as a person that is in the job field of human resources, what is since you worked in human resources, what was your actual job description? What were you managing? Were you managing resources, or were you managing humans?
Humans, of course.
Thank you.
I was managing
so then I would suggest that point is mute, because if you were actually in your job description managing resources, then you'd have a fair argument. But you're managing people, right? And you can't come home managing your husband. It's not how that works. That's why we suggest that human resources is not a job that we want our women to have.
No, I get you, but the way companies
is managing.
I see it. No, and I get you. Like, what human resources see is, that's why it's called human resources, because humans become a resource in a company. That's why I'm saying, like, but it's fine. Don't worry.
I think I have to agree with Tam on this one, but I also think it's based individually upon the woman, because I think you can be in a position and still maintain your femininity. I think you can manage people well in a feminine way.
Okay, y'all, listen. It shouldn't matter what field that you are in. Just be who you're supposed to be when you are off from work, and do it well. If you cannot turn it off and on, that means maybe you, and it's causing conflict, put it that way. If it's causing conflict because you can't turn it off and on, then that means you shouldn't be doing that job, or try to find some type of compromise, something. But most likely you shouldn't be doing that job. No, and that's anybody. No one should be taking their job that serious to where you become the job. If it's not your business, you shouldn't be becoming anything. You should just do your job and then come home and do that job. Learn how to separate the two. It's very different. So I'll give you another example of myself. I used to, it's not about a job, but it's about my personality. I used to be a very feisty, type of person with my husband. So he didn't like that. And I had to kind of change it a little bit, or we would just always be arguing. So why should I argue? He doesn't like it. It makes him feel uncomfortable. It made him feel like I was over him in a sense of like I'm managing him, because I'm always kind of like cutthroat. So I had to learn how to not be cutthroat with my own husband. And now, did I change all the way? No, I just changed for who I am speaking to. But I am still that feisty person outside of my house. That does not change. I just know when to turn it off and on. I turn it off with him, but I'm still that person. I'm not gonna not be that person. So just learn how to kind of navigate the two. And